Hello ladies and gentlemen, we're going to jump into G2 versus Rogue. It is 3 a.m. in the morning, she's calling, I'm yawning. This was a good game for G2 because they got to play what they always play. Very happy, woo! Lokin, Pantheon, Thalia, Trash first 3 is a G2 classic. Banning Ornn against the Rogue might be troll, but fuck it. Never know what Rogue practiced this entire weekend or week or 2 weeks where LAC was off, blah 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 blah. First pick Pantheon, we like it. All the OP AD carries are out of the picture, Ornn is out of the picture. Set is still in. So what on earth did anyone in this game smoke in order to not pick Set second? So here, naturally, you should go Set Gragas 1-2, right? Set Gragas, Misfortune, something like this. You can wait with not picking Misfortune because G2 are not going to lock it in. And then you Gucci gang. But instead, Sejuani, Aatrox, they are just the worst versions of Gragas and Set. So why would you do it? Why would you do it? Why are you doing this? Thalia Trash is locked in. Thalia, Pantheon, Fleximus Prime. Already denying the fact that they're not going to send it support, whatever. They had to show one thing, right? So might as well. Keep mid-top flex. Mid-top jungle flex. Super cool. Second wave, you have ban options. They went for Morgana ban. Maybe another support. Honestly, Thresh, Morgana are the best supports for Draven. You can also consider Nautilus ban here because... or Blitzcrank is the same shit, right? Nautilus, Blitzcrank, whatever. All the same. I think it's a matter of comfort. Well, okay, I guess they are playing at home, they are very comfortable, they're playing their favorite champion, they're comfortable. You know, there's a line where we need to toe where, of course, sometimes people are thinking of the most cocktail suggestions ever. I think Teemo Jungle here would be good. I doubt they prepared that, but at this point in time, not to have prepared Gragas and Set and not being comfortable with these two is a problem, right? Nautilus gets locked in. Nautilus gets locked in. Not a big surprise. They are happier playing Thresh Nautilus matchup instead of Thresh Blitzcrank. They just saw it played out and they didn't have the same confidence as G2. Here G2 is like question mark pinging, like, oh, how on earth did Set get here? How did Set get here? So the set is open, guys. Lock it in. Let's take it straight to the bank with this ha 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 ha. Ha 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 ha. It's crazy that Set gets through here. They're banning Jace, Renekton. Jace, Renekton gets banned. Here, I would ban Gragas and Set. Who cares about anything else? Aatrox versus Jace is definitely playable. Definitely playable. Especially when you have Sejuani jungle. You hate to play against Sejuani jungle when you are playing Jace. Second wave bans are Giga Troll. Giga Troll, man. Jesus. Giga Troll. But it's alright. Blind Pekoki. Giving Larsen Vietnam flashbacks. Not Vietnam, but that best of 5 against Schalke 04, where he helicoptered into the turret. Echo is a good lock-in. Good lock-in because it's good synergy with Sejuani. Good into Corki as well. Can definitely fight for Prio in this matchup. We like it. Not too shabby. Bottom matchup, honestly, playing Thalia Thresh against Draven, you kind of enjoy it. You have a lot of options, and Draven, if he missteps, you can play on you can play on range pretty much. If Nautilus hits Q, of course you can one-shot, no problem. But Thalia Thresh definitely have Prio on this early, and then when Nautilus reaches 6, all of a sudden you're going to die. Like when Sejuani has ult and Nautilus has ult, killing on bottom, it becomes very, very easy. So that's where things begin to shift. But early on, G2 definitely have an advantage. G2's bot lane, G2's jungle, G2's top side is going to be stronger, and they will have opportunities to prio and to impact the map. But if you consider this in with the mid lane, because that's the only lane that I didn't mention, Echo doesn't do anything significant. Corki either. It's just a very stale matchup where they are playing for farm. It's not going to be too heavy this game. Do you think that most matches today were like solo queue? No. Why, these guys not social distancing? I have no idea, man. Maybe they have German immunity system. I don't know why I wanted to do a pseudo German accent, but fuck it. We give it a shot. What about scaling? Let me just see the composition again before I answer that. Honestly, I think scaling is on the side of G2 because they are the ones with the set, the Corki. Pantheon doesn't fall off either, and Talia is not too bad. The key thing here is still Rogue. You know, I just have such an issue with the fact that Set went through here. Like how did Set get here? It is incredible. How did Set get here? It is like a game of finding Waldo, and it's just a picture of Waldo. And it's like, find Waldo. He's right there, man. Only thing for Rogue that they got going on is like Talia Thresh as a lane. If they don't snowball early, it becomes a lot worse. Because itemizing magic resistance against this lane is very powerful. Here, Mickey takes a pretty rough trade. It's important to keep in mind that G2, like Talia, is barred in terms of damage. Not barred the champion, but barred as in she can't do the damage if the minions are right there. And usually what you want to do when you're playing Talia Thresh is you want to trade on the point where the enemy has no melee creeps. So you punch the melee creeps, get the melee creeps off, and then you try to zone the enemy off. And this is something that was happening. G2 did in fact win the push, but Mickey took a trade and lost the potion. But he traded potion for potion, maybe not too bad considering Talia and Thresh are going to fish under the turret here. There's definitely like a window for G2. I mean for Rogue. If they manage to get to level 6 on Sejuani and Nautilus, and they manage to clap back on G2's bot lane, they try to find some kills through lane, something like this, and they don't bleed too heavily before that, then there's definitely potential here. But Sejuani early clear speed is pretty weak. Pantheon has all the advantage in the world, and all the time advantage in the world. Bucks is playing kind of however he wants. He's trying to push into wave. They're looking for a dive. Caps is in position. Really like this type of play. Perks even W's to Valkyrie the wave. Larson has no idea this is happening. Claps is coming. Flash W. Not in range, Jankos. Now you're in range because you're Pantheon and you have the highest move speed in the game. Big brain. I really like the reversal here because in a lot of cases you see the mid 2v2 into bottom dive. But now we had the reversal instead. Talia Thresh with the dive into mid lane because Corki is not going to impact bottom dive at all. So you do the reversal, you outnumber by 3 in mid, and you set up for the dive. Very nice play here, but Draven gets to push out, and any type of damage that G2 could have potentially done to the lane is gone now because Corki is now ahead, Pantheon's now ahead. So the reason usually you don't do this and why we don't see it as frequently is because it takes such a big effort to go from bottom into mid, while it's much easier to go from mid into bottom. Here we go again. Ooh, look at that clean swoopity swoop. Finn needs to flash this. Definitely needs to flash this. He could live, but then after it would be tough too because he would get pressure off the turret and yada. Draven's in the fighting state, got double longsword into Doran's ring. This is the price you pay for diving mid right with your bot lane. It takes a lot of time and effort. Talia is very similar to Misfortune, especially in bottom, because if you hug the wall, you also kind of get something out of that. Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous that Aatrox died to this. It's very bad. Very bad. I would be very annoyed if I'm playing Sejuani this game, but I think maybe they need to deflect. Oh my, okay. Was not ready for this. Okay, we're back. We're back and everybody dead. Okay, so Draven has died twice, and that's what we know. Yay! And there's the lane gank. Holy social distancing, guys. Okay, we're back. Okay. So how did Draven die twice? Pretty sure official stream shows what happens in meantime. You sure? I think not. Okay, maybe if Capsule was a bit more awake here, they could actually kill. LEC doesn't have that much of a gap. I think there's a big gap. It's okay, guys. Let's just move on. Let's think of the position from here. Yep. Oh, Caps is straight up inting. Honestly, he has one minion to play with there, and then the minion dies of a Draven Auto, and he's still walking up fishing for a W. It's just a classic Caps int that is not necessary. Spide's level 6 now. Van is also gonna get level 6. There it is. Not sure what Mickey's fishing for here, because once again, I think he just wants to join Caps in his death. Okay. Very true. Oh, that's rough. Rogue did something positive, and then everything went to shit because they stayed too long. I think they didn't judge really Corki package and Pantheon R and Talia R. Like after that diving trash, the wave crash, you need to peace out quick. Maybe they didn't even have time to dive trash. I'm not so certain. But I think they definitely didn't judge the speed of how G2 can actually impact bot with the globals. I didn't even think about it till now, honestly. How nasty it can be. Key thing as well against G2's bot lane, like if you're Draven here, considering buying like no magic mantle is pretty juicy, I think. Very similar to the previous game we saw. G2 managed to find impact onto Draven, and Draven is now pretty behind. Don't you think Cap should have gone for more damage heavy item first? Well, thing is, this item is pretty damage heavy. You don't have the craziest AP scalings, and what it gives you is damage, right? The spray does damage, and also it's much cheaper, and the item path to it is much better. Sometimes you can't base on blasting wand. Luna's Echo is just more expensive, and it is definitely a fine option in this scenario. And if you have anything to set up your combo by yourself, it's also good. Like they are playing Thresh and Talia, right? It's not only Pantheon. He has Aftershock on in a good timer. Good Nautilus ult here, honestly, to pass through Thresh into Talia as well. And there we go. I mentioned it before. Rogue have very strong ultimates on bottom. This is something that the G2 don't have. Pantheon, not a strong ultimate. Talia, not a strong ultimate. Thresh, also not a strong ultimate. In terms of fighting 3v3 forcing, it's very powerful in terms of different scenarios in the game, right? Different scenarios in the game in the sense that you can impact the map, you can set up a play like they did earlier to punish Rogue, yada yada yada. Well, you don't always only go GLP for CC. So I mentioned some reasons why, like there's still the damage, where you have a choice. The item path is easier because you buy 2 amp tomes instead of blasting one. So anything that is cheaper is considered easier unless you have a full inventory. But of course, you buy GLP always as a first item on anything that you consider buying it. And also, I don't know if I mentioned, but I'll mention it anyway, just in case I didn't. Just it's cheaper. It's cheaper. And you can never have too much CC. Like, sure, you can have too much CC if like your whole comp is like 5 tanks. Like if you're playing Maokai, Sejuani, Leona, Ornn, then maybe it's a bit too much because you just give enemy team the biggest Mercury threat value of your life. So the key thing for G2 is they need to respect a bit. Pantheon, Karka's package. It was his TP. This was set flash as well. Flash for flash. And Larsen, like here, Corgi also does the middle wave, so I don't know how much I like this play. It's a bit too desperate for my taste. I think they shouldn't have done this. Echo have it in the top, but Jankos is in position. Like if Jankos doesn't show on bot play, then most likely you assume that the Pantheon's top. I wonder if Corki is in too much of a good state. I think there's a point where Echo can begin to trade and win, but Larsen's kept TP, and of course Larsen also got Dove. Larsen is not the type of player to really impact a matchup. At least a matchup like this, right? Because always with all Echo matchups is that there is always a point where it begins to win trades, and that point is very early with Corki, especially because you can dodge Q and such. But it hasn't seemed to matter that much. Oh, Capsule do need flash here to not be in any Q range of Vander. But this is a very easy response for G2. Set also TP'd, Finn has TP, but with the way everything started, where Vander, I mean, where Talia did a very good flash. Like he flashed right on the edge of that wall, so Nautilus couldn't land the Q, even though there's minions, maybe the minions would be enough anyway. Aatrox TPing so late and just suiciding is kind of tragic. Let me just see that again. So Finn didn't TP yet. Finn didn't TP yet. Finn didn't TP yet. This is G2 TP. Finn still no TP. Still no TP Finn. Still no TP Finn. Still no TP Finn. Now Finn TPs. Now Finn TPs. And what does he do? He runs it down. He runs it down. Because honestly, here, maybe Veeery just keeps pushing bot. Maybe the gold exchange here is not that bad. But now it TP top and died, and there's no positive gain here. And now it's so rough for Aatrox. When is it going to be that time in the game where Seth is going to be more useful than him? I just think the fact that he died earlier to that gank makes Seth so strong, puts him in such a healthy position where no one in the game is ever going to be able to split. And then the burden of engaging is going to be on Rogue, and if G2 itemize correctly, they can definitely deny Nautilus engages, they can deny Sejuani engages. Like, let's say, for example, Talia buys a Banshee. How is she ever going to die again in this game? Not possible. Not possible. So this Nashor's Tooth technology on Larsen, I really don't know if it's good. When I saw it, I had the urge to write Jizuke, but because I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it's good. I'm not gonna claim to be some echo build expert, but Lichbane feels pretty goddamn core. I feel like when you reach Lichbane, Deathcap, and Proto Belt, you can actually one-shot most carries on the map. And I think that's huge. And I don't think you're going to achieve the same thing with Nashor's Tooth. Like, sure, you have 10% more CDR and you punch a bit harder when you auto in the long run, but it's just not how you want to play Echo. Very rarely do I see that pattern played out. Sometimes in Split, it does get played out that way, where you get to auto attack a lot with Echo. If you're playing as a tank or something like that, but in a case like this, you are going to rely very heavily on fights, and you're not going to split against Set. Like, you're going to lose against Set. Set is too fed. So that to me is awkward. I don't think it's time to buy Nash's Tooth. I think Lichbane Deathcap and legit you one pop the Talia. But of course Talia should go Banshee here, and it's honestly game winning. Wunder running it down, but then he is David Blaine. Survives. Nash 2 gets played on Conqueror Echo. Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah, but mostly on Jungle. I haven't seen it on like a mid Echo, but maybe my sample size in my brain is just too small. I want to be careful what I'm saying in terms of items. Like, if I don't know something, I haven't seen something, I haven't tried something, especially in my current state of mind, it's just theoretically here it doesn't make sense. Theoretically, I think Lichbane puts you in one-shot range of the Corgi, but Corgi is looking pressing tap now, seeing Nash's Tooth, and maybe the plan is to bait them into not buying like QSS and not buying Banshee on Talia. Oh, there we go, it's Leandre time. Every target on the enemy team is buying a lot of HP, so Leandre is not bad. I think Banshee would be huge. Banshee, Echo doesn't want to touch you. Nautilus, Sejuani also don't want to touch you, and if these people don't want to touch you, you're not gonna die. So I like him more. But I respect the Leandre choice. Finn, dashing over the wall right into Wonder's arms. Wonder wants a hug. Finn gets away. No hug today. Finn, if you can't win with split with Aatrox, then pretty doomed. Not much for Finn to do this game. After that, level 3 gank was so successful. Yang was just a big smurf, man. He dove mid and then he killed top. And then Silence was smurfing too hard, and Talia Trash, very strong early. Managed to get Prio to use it, and then roaming mid didn't impact the game at all. Now in terms of what the teams want to accomplish, Rogue just need to look to force on it. They need to look to force, they need to look to catch, because the moment more and more items are starting to get built, where you get Mikael's, QSS, whatever, Rogue's composition is gonna get worse and worse. Wunder's too strong on side. Wunder looking to die again. I like the play though. Walling and then ulting someone over and then trying to jog away. I respect it. Jankos has been playing out of his fucking mind this split. I think this split, Jankos has been so fucking good. Who do you think will get MVP of spring? Honestly, I think Jankos will get it. Jankos is so good. And Ninja Tabi is not bad against Corki, right? So at least with Ninja Tabi you get value against Pantheon, against Set, and also a bit against Corki. So it's not like giga terrible. I understand the thought process because let's say you compare the value, you get like a 2 from Mercury and 2.5 from Tabi or whatever you want to put it. Obviously, Mercury does more against Corki than Ninja Tabi because 25 MR is just more than the percentage damage that Ninja Tabi reduces. But yeah, Aatrox needs to buy Ninja Tabi to even have a chance, otherwise he's just gonna hard lose. You need to buy like very cost efficient items in order to recover lanes like this. Like sometimes you see people buying Chambers and Negatron Cloaks just to recover lanes because the lane is just in too bad of a state and it will impact the game economy too bad. I'm not, I wasn't replying to you, the Zuriel, I don't even know what you're talking about. And I don't remember what you're referring to because I'm too tired to remember. G2 better position. Way better than this Nautilus. Oh, Echo on the flank, but it's kind of indecisive about what he wanted to focus on. He didn't proc passive on caps and then kind of walked into Jankos. Not sure what Seth was doing in this fight, how he got in such a shitty position. Seth is pretty healthy now and then he just isn't. Everyone gets peeled by I think Seth could wait a little bit longer before he pulled the trigger. What? Okay. He's fishing. Yeah, I think Larsen doesn't know how to teamfight with assassins. When I saw Larsen play LeBlanc against G2 the last time, it was also pretty awful. Okay, let's repeat this one. Echo on the flank with the Nashor's Tooth. Wanda dies first, and then Seth does good combo here, but he doesn't need to R. I think peeling back onto the Echo was correct here. Seth saves his items and just controls that bullshit. It's just, we're better off. We are just better off. And there's the Echo. No resistance. G2 playing on Fog, Rogue playing very respectful. So I wanted to summarize my thoughts around Rogue, because now they're in the talks of playoff race. I can summarize G2 as well. Like I think G2 is the best team in Europe, and they're not even trying, man. They're not even trying. I'm just waiting for G2 and how they look when they're actually trying, when they're try-harding and practicing hard. Like in this case, sure, they got away with playing a composition that they're used to with the Talia and the Pantheon, because that's a complicated part of this composition, right? Corki and Set are easy champions to add to the repertoire. Like G2 are definitely not practicing as hard as they could. That's my point. They are trying to win, but they are not practicing as hard as they could. So that's for me not like trying hard, you know? Sure, they're trying. I'm not saying they come into games, oh, let's lose, guys. Ha ha ha. No, 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 no. That's not my point. So for me, like G2 in playoffs is gonna be freaking crazy. Fnatic didn't get stomped. I think that's saying that is disingenuous. Like, boom, Wunda, Wunda. Oh, Wunda didn't get W off. He was very greedy. Very, very greedy. Yeah, if Fnatic get that Nash, then definitely the game looks different. G2 is very, I mean, Fnatic is very, well, G2 is too. G2 and Fnatic are very good at taking turrets when they have Nash. No hesitation. Bakshish. There we go again. Yangus blocks. What happens to Mickey? He hex flashes and he hooks. Very nice hook from Nautilus here to time it and get aftershock and to be tanky. So Vander played it super well. Punished trash. And then afterwards, nothing else. And now Larsen is getting Lich Bane third, which makes for an awkward fucking build, honestly. Well, the strength of this path Roku Aura is that it's very hard to abuse it. You can't really punish it. You maybe lose the blue worst case, but that's not gonna be good enough. Like Pantheon legit just paths into bot, goes into bottom, mid, top, clears again. It's pretty funny that people are falling to the ganks of it, but it's very difficult to like counter. Like some of the ganks that happen here shouldn't happen. But G2 used their prior. Like Echo should be denied for sure. So let's speak about Rogue. So the thing that I've noticed when they play against teams above them, they just don't play confidently. I think they don't understand how to actually create pressure. Like I think when they have pressure in their lanes, they know how to use it. They rotate around the map. They control the map. They pretty much set up dives. They control the pace of the game. They have some sense of macro. It's all good. But then when they play against G2, they actually punish mistakes. Like, okay, oh, you didn't push in the wave completely here. We're going to freeze and we're going to deny you and we're going to put you in a horrible spot. You know, they have a lot of tools and thought process always in regards to what's going on the map. It was the same in the XL Fnatic game, where Fnatic just managed way better. Is FPX still the best in the world? I wouldn't say they're the best in the world. I think IG looks really strong. JDG looks very strong. E-Star looks very strong. RNG looks very strong. Genji looks really insane. Dragon X looks good. T1 looks good. I can notice myself spacing out now. The lack of sleep is getting to me, my friends. That guy finished on Talia. Talia is monster fed, man. Cork is monster fed as well. Yeah, I reviewed IG Rogue Warriors. You can find it on my YouTube channel if anyone's interested in watching that. Lich Bane finished. Like, sure, if Rogue Larsen actually managed to finish that guy, then his build is crazy good. But now there's a little period where I feel like that guy would have been stronger. Definitely would have been stronger. How good do you think G2 would be if they practice like Eats and teams? But I don't think they should practice like Eastern teams. I think they should practice against Eastern teams. Yeah, Pantheon, like, of course, what happened this game should not be so valuable. Like, he passed into bottom, he gave his bottom side prio, and then they dove mid because Corky had prio and the wave crashed at the exact time. And then the stupidest part of it all was Aatrox dying. Like, it was the easiest life ever Pantheon had there, man. He just passed into bot, into mid, into top, nothing in peculiar, and Aatrox died to a gank that he knew was coming. That was a big deal because it kind of set the seal on the matchup. Finn with a flank. Rather pretty tanky. Hansama, 1 HP. Jankos, Spartan. Maybe he can get something done. No, he doesn't go for it. Oof. I don't think. Well, I think Eastern teams are not necessarily practicing well. And the amount of scrims that, for example, Chinese teams have is not absurdly high. Like European teams practice really fucking hard. Like when I was working as a coach, I worked minimum of 14 hours a day, reviewing and looking and paying attention and listening and having meetings. I think every player in the LEC is minimum playing like 10 hours a day. Minimum. Echo's still looking strong. Very difficult to maneuver yourself in these fights when you are playing Draven. You have to walk through so many Talia rocks. I've heard scenarios where Asian teams practice maybe 10 to 15 games a day, and I think that's just way too much. There's no way you can play 15 games and be efficient in all of them. And especially when you're practicing in team, you just become way too inconsistent. And I think that's why a lot of Eastern players actually burn out fast. Well, when we say Eastern, I mean more like, Korean. See, Echo's starting to do a shit ton of damage. A super, super shit ton. Arsenal has R. Well, Jankos is playing super, super good. I don't know why we're speculating that he's not trying. Oh, hey, I wonder Smurfs, man, but he also has a very, very free fight for himself. Look how he moves himself and positions. Maybe he could get a bigger E if he walks a couple of frames to the right. But keep in mind, this is G2 just straight up 4v5ing. Straight up 4v5ing, Corky punishing and shooting with rockets. But Wonder really, really smurfed here. Thank you, Finn, for setting that up. I like the addition of Hans Sama to Rouge roster. He seems to fit very well into the team with Vander. Yeah, he seems to do well, yeah. It's definitely an upgrade from Woolite or Hikyu. There is the ocean. Yeah, sorry for the mess of a review, guys. I just thought because of the quality and all that, I'll just put some commentary over it. Oh, here comes Wonder again. Flip. Boom. Where is Aatrox? Where is Aatrox? You can have some sleeping reviews sometimes else. I just thought, now is the time to do it, because we had the games and the content, like the whole casting situation with sound being off and all. Maybe people would like to experience the game firsthand like this instead. Well, I think the key thing here is Pantheon got away with way too much, had so much value. They killed Echo Set early on, and then afterwards Talia was 2-0. I think Pantheon was involved. We had the dive on bottom, they recovered, they killed Talia, Draven got a kill, but then there was another triple kill going in G2's way, and after that they just had full control over the game. It's always like that when you have a global comp like Talia and Pantheon, and you begin to snowball that it's super super good. It's like it's just when you have prior with something that has TP or any type of global, it just impacts the map way too much. And when Pantheon is ahead, it becomes very very dirty because it's very predictable how Rogue want to play the game. They want to play through bottom, as we called out, right? After what we've just seen, can Rogue beat Fnatic? No, 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 no. No. There's a chance, but no. It's a bit late. I'm about to get some rest. Good night, everyone. Good night. Good night. Any final questions in regards to this game? What do you think of Reckless the Split? Best AD carry in Europe. By far. Thoughts on Corki mid? I think Corki mid is quite strong. They gave him some buffs to package. Like you have Prio on very good timings. Like Corki package comes out when Rift Herald is alive, and you can definitely use it. I think Corki as a blind pick works. If you check my meta reviews from months ago, I said that Corki is good after the buffs. I was surprised not to see him even earlier, especially as people are playing like LeBlanc gets banned often, Syndra gets banned often, and after that it's kind of a choice. It's Azir, Oriana, Victor, Corki, all champions that can definitely lose in a lot of matchups, but that's the price you pay when you blind pick mid, right? Echo is in most cases good against Corki, right? But this time around he got Dove and he didn't have space to do anything in the matchup. But if Corki gets away with it, he's a wonderful carry with a huge package. Same thing can be said about all the other ones. Whippo definitely looks like he has a split of his life right here. Like he had a very good split when he was going bottom, and so as was playing top. That was pretty cool. But this is a very good look for Whippo. The question I asked earlier was, do you not think Umbral Glaive is OP on Pantheon for the vision and the cheapness of the item above BC this game, because this BC is kinda With Cork and Talia as your carries, I feel like Umbral Glaive is a build way too little for how cheap the item is and what it gives. I think Umbral Glaive is one of the most OP items in the game personally. I think the fact that you have CDR on this item, like you buy it out of Serrated Dirk, Longsword, and you get CDR. Like when you finish the recipe, you get CDR, which is nuts to me. Like there are items that are lethality based and they don't give CDR. Like for example, Edge of the Night or Sanguine Blade, because they are built out of no Caulfield Warhammer, right? So it's very odd that the item has CDR. I agree with you that the item is super super powerful. Do I agree that this was the game to buy it? Well, honestly, the key thing about Black Cleaver doesn't get discussed enough in terms of itemization. People are talking about like LS likes to bring up Trinity Force, and I think in some scenarios he does have a point. But the thing is, Black Cleaver, Black Cleaver is almost cost efficient without considering the passives. Also, Black Cleaver gives move speed on spellcast, not only on minion damage. So basically, when you do physical damage, any type of physical damage, for example, if you're playing Aatrox or like any like Olaf, it makes sense because you can actually use the move speed. Like Aatrox Q lands from afar, Olaf actually lands from afar. You can close the gap, so that matters a lot. In the case of Pantheon and jungle is to be stronger, to become stronger, and to give yourself some good value, you need to find HP somewhere. Especially because you want to go into GA and Mercury, you need to find HP somewhere out of first base. Because if you start buying only longswords, you're going to be very, very squishy, and you're going to be able to get one-shotted by a lot of situations. And then you're in a position where you have to like E preemptively, and you'll just accomplish less because of it. So the key thing here is Black Cleaver item path is very, very nice. And the enemy team already has Sejuani, so the Black Cleaver is going to find value regardless. But I do agree with you that Umbral Glaive is a very OP item, and I think it's a big part why Senna is so OP, because Umbral Glaive is just so OP. I honestly think Perks is better as a mid laner now than Caps was last split. Well, I think in the context of the split, Caps definitely had some end moments in summer, but I think that can be said for whole G2. Caps at the World Championship was very good though, if you think outside of the series against FPX.